Good morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with Fanvil. Today's host is our very good friend, Tommy Lee, and he is their National Sales Manager, and he'll be presenting today. If anyone has any questions, please submit them in the question box so that to them at this presentation. Tommy, thank you so much for being with us today. We greatly appreciate it and looking forward to what you have with us. I am finished for now. Please go ahead and take it on over.
I appreciate the intro, Julie. Appreciate it. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on what time zone you're in. Today, I want to really optimize your time with us. We have a very brief presentation. I want to introduce two new focused products, which are our new cordless phones that we have. And when I say cordless phones, these are actual desktop phones that have some very unique capabilities, but I also want to highlight where we differentiate against other solutions as well, which might provide some value in how you go ahead and quote your customer. What I want to do today is really introduce two products that are available today that is available through lots of promotions. You might be able to see we have a seeding program that you can go ahead and reach out to Microcom and be able to go ahead and get these models. You could sample them out to see if they go ahead and work for you. We have two models. One is the V62 Pro, which is our really what we call our baseline. And then we also have the high model, which is the V66 Pro. One of the unique things about the Pro is that Pro actually means that it actually supports wireless handsets. Now, keep in mind that I remember when I was growing up, we used to always have to replace those cords that eventually when they get stretched out and everything else like that, well, we've eliminated this problem. Now, having a wireless or cordless desktop is not new technology, because us, Fanvil and many other competitors do offer on the high end, but we're one of the first ones to actually offer this feature on the low end. We realize that in this economy, many people are being price conscious as well. And when you look at the price conscious economies, many of the baseline phones offer some of the basic features. But what we want to do is we want to offer those basic features and then up one, because we'll provide a great baseline price, but as well, when you compare it, we also provide the ability to have a wireless handset. And you're going, wow, this must be kind of nice, because then you offer really everybody that is price sensitive the same technology that's offered on the wireless phones. What's nice about it? This Bluetooth headset is really a Bluetooth technology which offers wireless. Now that means that you can get up, go around, and behind this handset you'll actually see that it actually has buttons. You could hang up the call, do a call, and you also have a DSS key which you can use to answer doorbells and things like that. Because with our high-end phone, it also comes equipped with the H.264 video codec, which means that if you have access control, you could actually pick up this handset. If you happen to do something else, you can move around. And if you look at the screen, you could actually see that it's probably somebody from Pizza Hut or Domino's Pizza. Push a button and then be able to go ahead and let that person in. If you need something more basic, it offers you the same level of flexibility with all the different screen sets, but it wouldn't support video. So if you just have a basic phone operation, this will do everything you need it to do moving forward. Now, because this handset is movable, it also has automatic handset pairing. Now, I can't tell you, I have a remote phone that I often leave behind. I forget where it is, but I do have this feature on my watch, which I go out and says, find it, you push a button and all of a sudden it starts beeping. We offer the same thing. I mean, us being part of the human race, we're not perfect all the time. We don't always remember where we put these handsets, but the good news is that there's a find button which you can go out and you can actually beep and let you know where it is. So it lets you know where this location is on each handset so you can pick up where you left off. And I mentioned earlier, there's a handset programming key, whether it's a function speed dial that you call for emergency purposes or just to answer the phone, whatever have you do it, then that's perfectly fine with us. That's all available and offered through the baseline as well as the high-end phone. And again, we're the first to come out on the baseline phone with this capability. On the higher end, it offers some of the unique capabilities like video codec. It also offers anti-microbial biomaterial, which means that if it happens to be a public phone used by many individuals, it is more prone to resist against bacteria transmission, and as well it has an adjustable screen. But if all of those things are not really a hard requirement by your client, then this basic phone will go ahead and do what you need to do. This time, instead of those people who may not have heard of Fanvil, we come across that quite often, but our brand name has really grown quite a bit. To summarize really quickly, we're a manufacturer that's been around for well over 20 years. In fact, it's about 22 years this year. And we actually have factories that are both based in Vietnam as well as China. The great advantage is that we can provide capabilities that actually offer our solutions through China-based or outside of China-based manufacturing if you happen to work on government-based type of technologies which have specific requirements. You might also see a sub-brand called Linkvil. The Linkvil is sort of the sub-brand of Fanvil, whereas just as Bronco is to Ford, Linkvil is to Fanvil. So these are all type of items, but we want to bring Linkvil because these are what we call our bin for wireless hybrid products. And that's not the concentration for this one, but I want you to know that they're both closely associated. Obviously here, we've been in 22 years of experience in the industry, and we invest a lot in making sure that the quality of our products are really good. We just invested $1 million in actually making sure that we have an acoustic library. I mean, let's face it, not only are we facing video, but we have to make sure that the sound we do is very, very clear at all as well. So we want to make sure that that this duplicative sound is really replicated well in each of our factories moving forward. Overall, even though we added 2 more lines on the V series on the IP phones here, I do want to advise that we have a whole spectrum full of solutions. I mean, our goal in essence is to really sort of be that one vendor that not only provides voice communications, but we also have intercom and broadcasting solutions, access control, both outdoors as well as indoors, so that you have monitors that you can just look up on the wall and see who's at the door, who's at the gate, being able to provide control. And we also provided, very recently announced, a mobile application where you both can go, both an Android as well as iPhone applications to actually manage who comes in and out of your house, your office, or your warehouse, depending on where you want to put this in. So remote access coupled with everything. And then I talked about Linkvil, which is our hybridized solutions, where we have very unique video conferencing phones and a lot of unique speakers and headset applications that fall under the Linkvil application. Of course, the common thread amongst most of these things in red is that they're all SIP-based type applications. They're not analog. We've gone ahead, and that's the common thread amongst mostly all of our solutions. And we have device management systems here that allow partners out there to be able to have remote communication or to have directions sent to their provisioning server or the PBX provisioning server or even your own. So we have every different type so that depending on what your implementation is or what setup you have, we have tools that are necessary in place for you to sort of get up and going and work with our solution moving forward. Another differentiator is that we also have local support. I myself, Tommy Lee, is also based on the West Coast. So if you have any particular commercial support applications or maybe even high-level technical, feel free to contact me. But if you want to go and do some more deep dives and some exploring some problems, we also have local tech support as well. It's headed by Hector Zarita, and you can reach him by this number. But my best advice is go ahead and send them via email, because via email you could always have a queue as to how many, when you call in, what the level of urgency is, etc. And that's how he manages things moving forward. But that's something that we bring on to this business, because we know out there to try a brand new brand, there's a little bit of risk associated with it, but we want to minimize that risk as much as possible for you. So let's talk about the highlights. The V62 Pro is really our baseline cordless set, which right now there's literally 0 cords. So if you actually hook this thing up, you can actually have a nice clean set. It obviously has all the different things with a color screen. It has sensor switches and everything, so that there's no sensor switches, increase in the reliability. It also has up to 12 SIP lines. Even though we called it base, this is not really base-based, where we only offer 1 or 2. This really provides all the deep level support that people expect. 6-party audio conferencing. If you don't have a switch that provides 6-level conferencing, we'll go ahead and do that. coupled as well with high-end video codecs as well. So when you combine all of these features put together, including Bluetooth and a base, it is really something worth exploring. And in terms of mountability, of course, this does a desk mount, but also we have adapters to be able to provide that on a wall mount situation as well. You can go ahead and actually look at our V66 Pro, and the differences between the two, as I mentioned earlier, is that we've actually upgraded the plastics for this to make this antibacterial because of more of the high-end phones. This is also a touchscreen phone too, by the way, that's also adjustable. But one big difference is that this one also has Wi-Fi access, which means that you can connect this to existing 2.4 or basically Wi-Fi 6 applications, which enables you to connect this phone to almost any environment possible, especially if you happen to be one of those wideband partners that provide access control. You could also use this display to display video and be able to use the one button here or any buttons that you see up on the screen to be able to allow access to anybody who comes in. They say, okay, it's your relative, it's your friend, or a friendly vendor. You can allow them in just by a push of a button moving forward. And this too is also desk and wall mount available. So as opposed to the initial screen, this offers a 7-inch screen above. So this provides really all of the bugs and toys, not the bugs, but the actual features that people are looking for moving forward. Obviously, as I mentioned, the programming key. This has an actual programming key as well as a answer and hang up key. So you don't have to run back to the phone and do it. You can actually control the call. And as well, you might want an extended call. So this is really designed for 13 hours of talk and 14 hours of standby. Really, it can meet your entire day. All you need to do is to hook it back onto the desktop and it begins recharging automatically. So by the time you say you have a reach and you come back during lunch and you hang up the phone, it'll be fully charged by the time you get back to handle your afternoon call during that time. So the good news about the V62 as well as the V66 is that it actually supports a wired handset. You could buy as an accessory the wired handset that fits on all the other V-series phones, and you could hook it right into the back as a backup. So that's an auxiliary thing that people can do if you want sort of those options, if that option is presented to you for your consideration. Obviously, auto pairing is very critical. When you come out of the box, these things are automatically separate from the box, and you're going, oh man, is it Bluetooth? Do I have to go ahead and pair this with your mobile phone? The answer is no, absolutely. You just take it up and you mount it right on the desktop, just as you see on this phone here, and automatically the phone, that handset will become automatically paired with this desktop, and it becomes really super easy. Again, you have a programming key as well as call and answer keys. And in case you end up losing this phone, because now you could sit on the couch or sit wherever you can in the office, you could leave it behind. You can really push a button and you could actually send out a beep tone to tell you exactly where this handset is. And that's something that's nice because I know I use that all the time on my mobile phone. Again, the nice feature about this is that you can also see video. You know, you can go ahead and actually mount this video camera and have it shown right on the screen here, telling you exactly what's happening, which is a differentiator between the high end versus low end. So depending on what your needs are, we could hopefully address it with just these two models with the wireless cordless handset. And to move forward, we actually have special promotions that you can go ahead and reach out to Microcom and make sure that all these things exist. We have an NFR bundle, which means that you can buy one of each or both of these things put together for your price of US $179, which is the MSRP is $428. This is a great way to go out and test this thing to make sure that will actually work. And this will actually go out to $331 and applies for both USA and Canada. I would say go ahead, reach out to our partners out there, and you can go ahead and see if this thing works as a start. If you do happen to start, then we could actually have some seeding promotions. And this is actually based on a seeding program that our distributors are supporting. So when we introduce a brand new product, what we've done is we've been able to provide some very upfront seeding promotions that we have internally. And what that enables people to do is to go ahead and seed the market with these things so that you can go ahead based on availability only, buy 5 and get 5 free, or you could buy 10 and get 10 free on our V66 Pro. So this is our high end that will do everything under the sun, and you can use this really to go ahead and see whether or not, this will fit in your application. But for the high end product, we have this promotion where you can go ahead, try it out, and you can see whether or not it creates a pull or not. I suspect it will, because there are many people out there who find this as a very convenient feature, then always tied to their desk. So this is based on limited quantities for seating, because we only have a handful that we provide to all of our partners. And you can go out there and reach out and see if you can participate, and just go and reach out. Okay? So you could do it both in A and B, and that's the intro that I have for these two models. I want to set aside the next remaining time to answer any questions that you may have, and I'll hand the baton back to Julie.
Thank you very much, Tommy. Appreciate that. Wonderful presentation. And as usual, I do have some audience questions for you. Let's get started with the first one. Here we go. Can you tell us what inspired the design of the V62 Pro and the V66 Prime?
Well, in terms of design, I mean, we wanted to look at something different. We saw that many of the existing phones had what we call sort of a bland vanilla look, and what we wanted to do was to add the nice flexibility without making it complicated, because what we wanted to do is really to find these things, kind of see where the market went. I mean, the design that we have is really no different than some of the other people that are in the marketplace. And we kind of took a back seat to gauge what design are people going for. For those that are still involved in our XU product line, that's great. We're not going to get rid of that product at all. In fact, with our XU, people liked it because we were the first to come out in the market with that little sidecar integrated onto a phone. And if you want to go with this set, we can go ahead and take this design and be able to put that together, and it gives you that flexibility of being able to desk mount, wall mount, by taking minimum amount of desktop applications, providing the color screen, or we consider the basic features in one thing without complicating the design for the end user. In fact, the end user should be totally invisible to the technology that sits behind this product.
Excellent. Thank you, Tommy. Next question here for you. Are there any energy saving features integrated into these devices?
Oh yeah, in terms of energy savings, when the phone is not in use, it goes into standby mode, meaning that once you hang up the phone, it will go into standby. It also saves the screen because you can have this icon that moves around so that you don't have anything burned into it. And as well, once you put it on, then basically it sits on standby until it's used. If it receives a call, it turns on, all of the handsets come back on. So very similar to your mobile phone. If you leave your mobile phone on your desk for a long time, the display turns off. These same features have also been incorporated in our desktop phones as well as our wireless portable phones as well.
Very good. Thank you so much. Next question here. Are there any AI-driven noise canceling or voice enhancement features?
Good question. I would say that there's easily noise canceling as well as audio enhancing technology. As I showed in one of the earlier slides, we've actually spent well over $1 million on an acoustic laboratory to make sure that those sounds are really coming through as clear as possible. In terms of AI specific, I mean, AI is something that's typically driven by the PBX manufacturer or the switch manufacturer. We're sort of the end piece, right? If you look at the end piece, we're kind of like the high-end knife and fork and spoon that people use to go ahead and eat their steak. But by all means, the AI is really done in the kitchen, where you can use our utilities to go ahead and deliver that food right into your mouth. So that's the way you kind of look at it. These tools are really endpoints of which touch the consumer, but AI is extremely CPU intensive. So when you go ahead and say, oh, how many liters fit into so many feet and such, whatever decide to do, that engine is usually reserved for the online servers or third-party servers that these phones can connect to, but will deliver that information to the end user in clarity.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Tommy. Couple more questions. Here we go. Are there any accessibility features for users with disabilities?
Yes, in fact, these are all hearing aid compatible phones, I believe. Very often, in the special needs and stuff like that, outside of these V series, we also develop an X305, which is a phone that's dedicated for senior living. And in senior living phone, we've actually enhanced the size of the keypad to make the numbers bigger, as well as reduce the number of speed dials to also be able to provide pictures as well as larger function keys, putting Braille on the actual key. So, making sure that we address all the needs of different community special needs is something that we do. But in terms of a regular desk phone, we put as much as we can to provide additional enhancements. Things like earphones and things like that, these are compatible with cordless headsets as well, all different types of things that people want to use in addition to what the desk phone is as well.
Thank you so much for that, Tommy. Last question here. Can you tell us if there are any plans to expand into new product categories, and can you give us any kind of clue as to what might be coming up for Fanvil?
Oh yeah, you might be seeing this very soon. As you may have noted from previous webinars, we've introduced a two-wire product, which means that we actually have phones that have the CPE integrated inside the actual phone. So the good news for our partners is that on the back of the phone, normally you see a Cat5 or Cat6 Ethernet connector. On the back of the other phones that have been converted, you'll actually see an old-fashioned RJ11, which is something perhaps Julie, you and I grew up and having that one phone in the kitchen. That'll be that one wire phone that you could just pop right in, and they could be able to get an IP call, an IP endpoint, and take advantage of all of those Ethernet-based units across a two-wire solution that's probably a maximum of about 900 feet long. That's a whole different technology, but it is a solution set that we give to our partners to address a two-wire solution. If you want more information, feel free to send me an email. I'll be more than happy to do a deep dive on you on that. My email address is Tommy, TOMMY.LEE@fanvil.com if you want more information.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Tommy. Looking forward to having a webinar when that product is ready to be featured to everybody.
Oh,
Looking forward to that.
Yeah,
okay.
We have that product now. It's just a matter of we're going to expand on the different endpoints because we realize different people want that set based on different endpoints. And that's what we're bringing to market.
Oh, great. So looking forward to that. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you for answering all of those questions. And thanks to everyone attending. And if anyone has any further questions, of course, you can reach out to Tommy, and to also please feel free to contact your sales rep or email us at sales@microcomtech.com. And if you wish to view these products mentioned and shown today, please remember this webinar presentation has been recorded and will be uploaded to the Microcom YouTube channel so we can all view it again. Everybody, thank you for being here today. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye, Tommy.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a healthy day. Bye-bye.